an oath, and he says, by Allah, I will never support Mistah ever again. Because up until that point, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu would financially support Mistah given his inability to support himself. So when news reached him that he was involved in this controversy, he became so upset that he took an oath and he says, by Allah, I will never support Mistah ever again. But subhanallah, Allah reveals verses of the Quran, وَلَا يَأْتَلِ أُولُو الْفَضْلِ مِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ, that those people among you who have nobility, who have financial ability, should not take an oath and say, Wallahi, that we will not support our relatives, we will not support the muhajirun, we will not support the needy. And then Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, subhanallah, he retracts and he says that, you know what, if this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, then I will continue to support Mistah. And there are a few other lessons from this, but 2 points that I want to derive as we wrap up the story. The first lesson that comes to mind is there's a hadith in the Sahih which states that Iblis, he وَضَعَ عَرْشَهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ. He tries to ridicule and imitate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he places his throne on the water. ثُمَّ يَبْعَثْ سَرَايَاهُ. And then he sends his minions, he sends his troops, he sends his armies. To do what? To cause fitna bayn al-nas, between the people. And then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, أَعْظَمُهُمْ مَنْزِلَةً عِنْدَهُ أَعْظَمُهُمْ فِتْنَةً. That from those people who he sends to cause trouble, the person with the highest rank is that person who causes the greatest amount of fitna between people. To the point it comes that in the end of the day, when the troops come back, when Shaitan's army comes back to him and they report what they've done during the day, one person will come and give an account and say, look, I did this, I did that. He'll say, مَا صَنَعْتَ شَيْئًا. You haven't done anything. Another person will come and say, I did this, I did that. He'll say, you haven't done anything. And then another person will come and say, مَا تَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى فَرَّقْتُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ إِمْرَأَتِهِ. Another person will come and say that I went to a man and I was doing so much waswasa, I whispered in his ear so much that I caused a rift between him and his spouse. Then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Shaitan will be so happy, فَالْتَزَمَهُ. He will get up and embrace this person. He will embrace the shaitan. Why? Because shaitan's biggest purpose in life is to cause fitna. And when we look at the story of Aisha radiallahu anha, subhanallah, you know, it teaches us something. It teaches us the harms that the fitna of the tongue can cause. People who don't know what's going on begin to start stirring up rumors, controversies, allegations. And then people who know better begin to get involved. They want to hear more gossip. They want to hear more trouble. And this is exactly what Shaitan loves to see. And if there's anything we can take from the story of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, that is, in times where there's a lot of confusion, when there's no certainty, let me not have an opinion and let me not worsen fitna. Let me not be part of fitna. Let me not cause the separation of families. Let me not cause the separation of friends. Let me not cause the separation of people. Let me not be that source of fitna, because by doing that, I'm only aiding the shaitan in his mission. And the second lesson that we learn is the lesson of forgiveness, the lesson of understanding, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reprimands Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and says, listen, don't ever take an oath to do something wrong. Yes, you're emotionally hurt. You're affected by the fact that your own relative Mistah had a hand, played a role in the allegations against Aisha radiallahu anha, but that does not mean that you prevent your doing good. Because what he's doing wrong, he's going to face it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what you're doing wrong and what you hold back is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't be the one who's going to pull back. Rather be the one who keeps his account clear with Allah and leave his affair with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, there's just so much to talk about under the story of Aisha radiallahu anha. But we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us a deep understanding. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from fitna. You know, subhanallah, it says, we always make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِذَا أَرَدْتَ بِقَوْمٍ فِتْنَةً فَتَوَفَّنَا غَيْرَ مَفْتُونِينَ. That, Ya Allah, whenever you intend a fitna for a people, protect me and take me away without being involved in that fitna. And the second important thing is, no matter how emotionally invested I am in having someone harmed or someone in trouble or someone, who's done wrong to me, it's tough. I'm not going to say I'm good at it, but we can learn from the story of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu that we should learn to forgive and forget and move on. And even if it's difficult to always forget, but at least learn to forgive. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is counseling. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to learn from this story, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from fitna. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk, jazakumullahu khairah.